Assalamu alaikum class. Hope you all are fine. So today we will talk about second Governor General of Pakistan, that is Khwaja Nazmuddin. Proda Act, Objective Resolution, the Army Leaders, Hyderabad and Kashmir. Muslim League Council appointed Al-Haj Khwaja Nazmuddin as a Governor General of Pakistan. He was educated in the Institution of England and possessed great qualities and capabilities of head and heart. He had a vast experience in the administrative matters. He was appointed as a minister for education in the United Bengal in 1927. 14 September 1948, Khwaja Nazmuddin made Governor General. He was education minister in the United States of Bengal in 1927. Then he promoted Interior Minister of Bengal from 1937 to 1941. Afterward, he was the Chief Minister of Bengal in the Muslim League Ministry from 1943 to 1945. Remained as a member of the All India Muslim League from 1937 to 1947. Khwaja Nazmuddin remained as a member of All India Muslim League from 1937 to 1947. Since the creation of Pakistan till the death of Quaid-e-Azam, he was the Chief Minister of East Pakistan. Khwaja Nazmuddin was ideally suited to hold the highest post of parliamentary government in the country. During the period of Quaid-e-Azam, practically all powers vested in the Quaid-e-Azam, but in the government of Khwaja Nazmuddin, entire administration concentrated in the heads of Mr. Liaquat Ali Khan, the Prime Minister. The greatest achievement of the period of Khwaja Nazmuddin was perhaps the famous resolution passed by the Constitutional Assembly of Pakistan in March 1949, which is known as Objective Resolutions. It can, of course, be called a milestone in the constitution making history of Pakistan. There are some points we are going to discuss about or regarding this resolutions. The first point was sovereignty of the entire universe belong to Allah. Second point is authority should be delegated to the state through its people under the rules set by Allah. The third one was Constitution of Pakistan should be framed by the Constituent Assembly. Next one is state should exercise its power through the chosen representatives. Number 5, the principle of democracy, freedom, equality, tolerance, and social justice as ensured by Islam should be followed. Muslims shall live their lives according to the teaching of Quran and Sunnah. Minority can freely profess and practice their religion. There should be a federal form of the government with the maximum autonomy for the units. The next point is fundamental rights including equality of status, of opportunities and before law, social economics, political justice and freedom of thoughts, expression, belief, faith, worships and associations subjects to law and public morality should be given to all the citizens of the states. It would be the duty of the states to safeguard the interest of the minorities, backward and depressed classes. Independence of judiciary should be granted. Integrity of territory and sovereignty of the country was to be safeguarded. The people of the Pakistan may prosper and attain their rightful and honored place amongst the nation of the world and make their full contribution towards international peace and progress and happiness of humanity. The next thing that was the act Republic Representatives and Officer Disqualification Act. It was an act of 1949. This act shows that Pakistan had to become the free democratic country that the Quaid-e-Azam had visualized. By this act, complaint could be made to Governor General or provincial governors who could order an inquiry by judge. Anyone who was guilty under PRODA was excluded from office. The law was designed in order to eliminate corruptions, but in actually it allowed the ruling elite to abolish those who it did not approve of. Moreover, this act had also allowed the Governor General to be prohibited from public life for up to 5 years, as well as ministers and members of the federal and provincial assemblies on the grounds of mistreating public office. The next problem was in that era the army leaders. Since partitions till 1951, the commander of the Pakistan Army was a British commander, Sir Douglas Gracie, and in 1951 he was replaced by the General Ayub Khan, a Pakistani. Since partition complaints were circulated of the leader of the army being a British. By 1951, most army officers were Pakistani. Despite this, some army officers were unhappy with the government. These conspirators of the Rawalpindi conspiracy were discovered by Ayub Khan in March 1951 and were arrested, tried and imprisoned. Amongst these conspirators was Major General Akbar Khan, Chief of General Staff, and 14 others. The first coup against Liaquat Ali Khan was made unsuccessful. However, he was shot dead in October 1951. Another important matters were a grave emergency was what the Quaid called the refugee problem in Pakistan and called for the Central Refugee Council to deal with this problem. The Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru, was approached by Liaquat Ali Khan and a meeting was set and hence the Liaquat Nehru Pact has made. An agreement was reached in which each government was responsible for the safety of the minority groups within its borders. Free passage of refugees was restricted and a visa system was introduced. Hyderabad and Kashmir. On 17 September 1948, Pakistan was still overcoming the Quaid deaths. So India caught the perfect opportunity to invade Hyderabad. On 5th January 1948, the UN organized a ceasefire between India and Pakistan in Kashmir. But since there was no agreement over the futures of Kashmir, so tension and arguments were likely to rise in the future.